stop. Put down the beer. I know you want to drink it. I know it looks delicious. But you've got to wait. It's very important.
Yeah, we're drinking a barley wine today, and a barley wine should be consumed at cellar temperature. So probably around like 12, 14 degrees. So it's too cold in your fridge. Get it out, stick on a shelf, drink another beer, and then it should be at about the perfect temperature.
Yeah, usually about an hour or so to really get the most out of this beer. If you're going to drink it too cold, you're going to get some really strong boozy brandy notes coming through, because this is a Christmas pudding barley wine.
It is, but let's back up. Welcome to the Beer Jerk Advent Calendar, day 11. We're excited about drinking a pretty special beer today.
Just point the beer at the camera to show them what the beer was, and then you totally roll over.
Well, go, you talk then.
Well, I'm Matt,
And I'm Luke.
and this is day 11 of the Beer Jerk Advent Calendar.
How you feeling today, Matt?
I'm about to drink barley wine, Luke. I'm very sweaty. It's really hot. And this is not the beer for this occasion. But suck it up, jerks, because it's barley wine time.
Well, it's Saturday morning, the sun is shining, we're going to drink some barley wine. I'm feeling much better today. I just wasn't feeling myself yesterday. But this is definitely going to sort us out, a good way to get the day going.
Yeah, so as I was saying, a Christmas pudding barley wine that we brewed with our mates at Moondog over from Melbourne.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So Moondog are, we love Moondog. They're one of our favourite brewers in the whole world.
Probably the first Australian brewer that we imported.
Yeah, I think it was. Yep. And yes, so Beer Jerk's been importing Moondog for a few years now. And we love them just because they're fucking crazy. They just come out with all sorts of strange and interesting and wonderful ideas for beers. They're just super lovely people, and it's been shocking just how astronomical their growth has been in the last few years.
Like their new brewery, Moondog World, it's absolutely massive. It's the size of like a whole city block. They've got a waterfall and a lagoon inside the brewery, and like islands and a hidden container cocktail bar. It seems totally rad.
It's gigantic, but especially that combined with just the looseness of the just the people that are behind it, and Josh and Carl, the co-founders, are awesome, and of course they are great business people and really savvy, but they don't really come across it. They come across it as being pretty chill guys. So yeah, there are some breweries that just come across as being corporate. But that is not the Moondog way whatsoever.
Yeah, well, not every brewery releases a cognac barrel-aged double IPA as their first ever beer, so that's the Moondog way.
Well, we released a Braunschweiger Mum as our first ever beer.
We did,
so it's a lot in common.
So it's a perfect collaboration.
And that is we, so we is Small Gods. So Small Gods is also us. So you probably, well, if you're having the Advent Calendar, you've definitely had our beer before, because we had one of our collaborations on day one.
Yeah, and this is the second beer in a trilogy of Christmas beers that we put out this season. And a bit of a spoiler, but the third Christmas beer in this trilogy is not in your Advent Calendar. So if you are one of our Beer of the Week subscribers, you have that treat to look forward to in the next couple of weeks. But if you are not, you may have received it in our Santa selection if you've ordered that through the website. But it's also available as a single. So if you want to drink Santa Santa Santa, which is our Christmas coconut snowball chocolate stout, then that's available on the website now.
Yep.
But back onto barley wine.
This is good.
Yeah. So barley wine is more of an American style barley wine than an English style barley wine. So that means it's bigger on the booze, bigger on the bitterness. But it's still got a lot of those fruitcakey flavors to it, because we added sultanas, raisins, nutmeg, star anise, and a buttload of brandy. So you're going to get, for me particularly, and I think for both of us, but I was the one who pushed for this, Christmas pudding is a huge part of Christmas for us at my house. And it's always served with piles of brandy butter, so it's super boozy. You get a really big brandy character coming through from this. And
oh, wait a sec. Tom, just in time. Come
Okay.
join us for a barley wine.
Now, you guys from last year might remember Tom. Tom is a traitor. He's abandoned us. He doesn't work for Beer Jerk anymore. And if you know a little something about Tom, get in the frame, Tom. Tom loves barley wine.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You put him in a nice big measure there as well compared to us.
Well, Tom loves barley wine. You know that.
I really don't.
This is what we invite you around. Just force you to drink barley wine. And it tastes like a Christmas pudding. So barley wines, they always taste a bit like a pudding. There's lots of raisin in there and sultanas, and we just took that and we leaned into it, and we just really elevated the dried fruits, candied peel notes that you would get in a traditional barley wine.
And not to mention that we really elevated the brandy. Like, we put a lot of brandy in this beer because, to me, that's a big part of that Christmas pudding, that big boozy brandy flavour that really kind of sings out, especially if you didn't obey our instructions and are drinking it cold.
It's actually pretty good.
It's pretty good? Okay.
It passes. It's actually, for a barley wine.
There you go.
I
passes.
Even Tom says it's good, so...
Yeah, it's actually quite nice. Good,
and... Yeah, we got the Moondog team to design us a Santa. So all the 3 different Santa-themed beers that we designed. So you've seen the Molly Rose one already, and this is the one that from the just goes beautifully with a cut and paste aesthetic from the Moondog team. And yeah, barley wines are designed for the dinner table. And you heard me talking about some great history yesterday, the history of IPAs. But the history of barley wine is from when the British were at war with France, and the rich folks couldn't get claret, they couldn't get any red wine for the dinner tables. So the brewers stood up to the challenge, and they started making some super strong beer. So that's why it's called barley wine. There's no wine in it. It's a wine strength beer that has the complexity to stand up to just rich, like Christmassy sort of foods, really.
Yeah, well, it's kind of those kind of British aristocratic meals at the time, which is like heavy kind of roasted meats and roasted vegetables and like thick, heavy steamed puddings and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I imagine
is exactly the kind of stuff that this is supposed to go alongside. Perfect for a bright, hot, sweaty summer Kiwi day.
Yeah, imagine Mr. Creosote having a feast with Henry VIII and just getting gout together. This is probably what we'll be drinking.
This is what they'll be drinking, yeah.
With that. So enjoy, everybody. Have you got anything to add?
No, so yeah, as always, let us know what you think of this, and that if you do want to try the third beer in that Santa selection, you've either know about it and have bought it already, or it's coming up in your Beer Joke members box, or it's available on the website. So Santa is the last one that you're not getting in your advent calendar, so check that out.
Well, cheers, everybody. I hope you enjoy the beer tonight, and raise a glass to Tom. To Tom.
To Tom.
And all who sail in her.